of a jam-packed episode of Midweek Banter. The show, so nice, we had to do it twice. That's Azza, that's Jake, and I'm the sugar and spice. Welcome back, boys and girls. It's so good to see you all. And yeah, as you can see, we had so much to talk about, so much to get through, that we're back the next day. Luckily, it's a bank holiday, but we're able to record the next day. And we're in a change of clothes, the sun's out. It's a beautiful day for a podcast. How we doing, boys?
All good, Sam. All good.
Can I just confirm I'm getting double fee? I'm getting like double pay for bank holiday, and I'm getting a double fee for a second show. I'm not. This isn't all coming under the one fee, right? That's the only reason I talked for fucking ages yesterday.
I missed dinner because of you last night. You're paying for my dinner.
Mate, I should be invoicing you for my dinner.
That's true. Expensive.
Services rendered.
And of course, yesterday we left it off at on our brand new segment of the Midweek Ultimate Team, and we were doing the card for the well-known, infamous Abbas. Yeah, Abbas.
Yeah. Fraud.
And it tended to be it had some really interesting discussions, as you'll see at the end of the last video, but we all tended to come towards the same score. So just to recap, we gave him a 85 for strength. We gave him a somewhat controversial 61 for shot, for shooting, a 72 for pace. Again, a bit of a talking point on that.
That sounds low. Looking back, that sounds low in hindsight, doesn't it?
It does a little bit, I think, but I don't know. I think that the balance of the acceleration and the top speed kind of balance it out. But I'm sure we'll hear what he has, and then he'll challenge to someone to a race. Everyone's challenging everyone to a race, and he's going to go and challenge to someone to a race now as well.
Yeah, but if he's wise, he'll pick someone slower than him, and it'll be okay.
We gave him a 77 for passing, and a strong 85 for tackling, because that is definitely his best attribute. Marking was 76. His ball control was 77, and his footballing intelligence, his IQ, was 81. So, all of that, and by the laws of somehow, however, FIFA Ultimate Team decide their cards.
One walkout. I would love to see one walkout in this video. If we don't see a walkout, that's going to be crazy, all right? We actually got a walkout, dude. I feel bad for my viewers. Oh, my God. Who's this? No. No.
Awaji has got himself a rating of 79, and as you can see here on the card, I feel it's and Jake was just mentioning that it seems low, but ultimately in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that low. It's a decent rating.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think he'll be happy with that.
I don't think 79 is. It may seem low, but it ain't really that low, is it? So I think that's quite fair.
No, exactly, and especially when you look at maybe some people on some of the players on like FIFA in the database of FIFA who are rated 79. I mean, there's some quality players there, and so there's no real shame in that. But I'm sure he'll have a complaint or two, but we'll wait for that.
I'm sure it'll be more exciting when a few more cards come out as well, and he can start comparing himself. So
yeah, and he can contrast and compare. But that's it for Midweek Ultimate Team.
The next section, we got some quick fire questions, Jake. But
So I've got to think quickly. Yeah, that might be a problem, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a little story for each question, which I'm prepared for today anyway. So I'm going to start, but I'm going to start because I'm going to track back a bit, because yesterday I asked for a couple of signings, and instead you told me a couple of your favourite players for the clubs I asked. So obviously we found out you had Beckham, Nistelrooy, Deeney and Doyley. So today I'm going to start with, if you could have one signing for Watford and Man United, what would that one signing be?
Do I have to be realistic?
It'd be, yeah. I've kind of
messy with my answer for both otherwise, but I think if I'm being realistic, I think United, I can't remember, I think it was Addy that touched on it, and I think with United, I think I disagree with Addy about saying that we had good enough centre backs at United, because I think United have historically struggled from not having an out-and-out world-class centre-back for a long time. And that doesn't, I mean, City, I'm very envious of City's transfers over the last few years because the gems that they've picked out, like the Silvers, the KDBs, the Laportes, the other Silver as well, like they're not actually being signed at the time they're world-class, but they've gone on to become world-class.
Yeah.
United have never done that properly or very well at all. And I think that's the problem with the centre-back situation. Like Lindelof and Bailly were supposed to be those kind of players. They've never materialised. I know you said about Bailly the other day,
yeah, I do like. But
he started great. He started great. I think he really took a knock after his first big injury, and he never came back the same. And so he's actually not that good at centre-back compared to Lindelof now, which is a weird thing to say because I've always rated Bailly myself. But I think I would say a centre-back, but you can't ignore the fact that Jadon Sancho is on the market and that United are desperate for wingers because we haven't had a decent world-class winger. This is going to be a controversial one since Nani. And that backs up my point the other day about the assists and goals. Nani was taken for granted at United.
So if he's looking, I will apologise now. Nani, are you okay? Nani, are you okay? Are you okay, Nani? Nani, are you okay? Are you okay, Nani?
And we haven't had a good winger since really. Like Mata's not an out-and-out winger, and Sancho just gives you that width, that directiveness. Like he's exciting and he'll run at people. And if you had him, Martial and Rashford as your forward three, then you do damage to any team. So I think United need someone like a Sancho, like not necessarily because of his age, but the ability level he's at. And the age only helps, but I think you just need an attacking threat who is going to become that level and stay at the level for a good while. So I think Sancho.
I like that.
I think any of the top 6 teams will break the bank for someone like him, wouldn't they? So, and Jadon Sancho started off at Watford, FYI.
Yeah, that's right.
Ties me on nicely too. So Watford. I think Watford have always needed a decent striker, and again, that's weird to say when you've got Deeney up top, but Deeney actually is a championship striker who's just like risen his game to play in the Prem. He's not got many other attributes of a Prem striker, but I don't think there are many good Prem strikers around at the moment, to be fair. So that's why he gets away with it. And I think Watford actually get away with being a good team. I think our midfield's more than capable. I think we haven't signed a good centre-back in the whole time we've been in the Prem. Like if you look at the centre-backs we've signed, it's Craig Dawson. That's all we've signed since we've come up. So I think
that's went down with West Brom, right?
Yeah, we'd be crying out for a centre back or a striker. And I think so. If you look at who's gone down or going down, say we stay up. I think if it was Bournemouth, Villa, and Norwich that went down, which would be the 3 below us, wouldn't they? I would take Pookie or I'd take Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson. Like Bournemouth and Watford have got like their own rivalry anyway, and Callum Wilson's always scoring against Watford. He's a class player. I know Josh King is talked about as like a top 4, top 6 player, and they're all coming in for him. He's good, but I don't know how he'd work in a top 4, top 6 team. So I wouldn't be interested in him. I'd take Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson, he'll score against anyone. Can play on his own, even though he's a little man. He's just a fast player. But him and Deeney up top would be class. Like he's just a good version of Andre Gray.
It'd complement Deeney quite well as a pair, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it really would. But then talking about centre-backs, if I wanted to take a centre-back, I mean, if Bournemouth go down, Nathan Ake, as you were saying the other day, Nathan Ake is fucking, do you know what? He is already a top 6 player. Far and away. He's been a top 6 player for a long time. And it's funny, because when he was at Chelsea, he was a left-back. And when he came to Watford, we also played him at left-back because we had good centre-backs, not a good left-back. But I mean, he might even come back, but I doubt he'd probably be above the level of Watford. But I'd take him.
I think it's even credit to Ake, the fact that he's not really a tall, big, strong guy, is he? I mean, he's got pace on his side, but he's not this typical big lumbering centre back. But his reading of the game, his interceptions, his tackles, he doesn't need to be big and strong.
Right, he's very athletic.
Yeah, though, for a small lad, he's not like fucking 6 foot plus. He's there's taller players than him, but he's really good in the air, and he's quite a threat in the opposition box in terms of corners and set pieces, ain't he? So I think, like I said, I'm not certain if we got a buyback on him or not, but I'm almost confident. Like I said the other day, obviously I think they half went in for him last summer, didn't they? But I think Leicester, if a team like that go in for Aki, that's going to boost the squad like that tenfold. I think he's a very good player.
I mean, Johnny Evans, to be fair, is doing bits for them. They love Johnny Evans up there, and City were looking at him, weren't they, as a backup, because I think Johnny Evans always was class. Even at United, I thought he was class. But I think the same. I was going to say Mings was my other guy. If he goes down, like Mings and Ake are both players who play on that left hand side and would complement playing with a really good stalwart, like less athletic centre back.
Yeah,
I think they're both good enough to be in top 6 teams. And like Ake, I don't know, he's very underrated in the Prem. Like he's quick, he's very good in the air. Like technically, he can play with a ball. Like he can play any kind of striker. Like whereas Mings does get exposed by quicker players a little bit. Like we saw that against City, didn't we? Like he got tore apart by City twice this season.
I would say Aki's definitely the one. If anybody could get hold of him, if you're choosing between him and Mings, but all right. Next one, Jake. What is your earliest footballing memory?
Yeah, so
playing and watching.
Oh, cool. Okay. As I was saying earlier, like I didn't go much football with my old man when I was a younger child, but the first game I went to was like Watford Plymouth in like 90, must have been like 94, 95, around that time of the year. And it was in the old Division 1, which would have been, the Championship now. And Watford won. It was a fucking bang average game, as most Watford games were back then. Like no memory other than that, really. But it was all quite sparse, as I say, back then. So it was a lot of watching. So obviously my main football watching was like Football Italia on Sunday morning, match of the day, and that was pretty much the most of it. So I remember watching Football Italia like week in, week out. So like grew up on like the good Juventus teams, like missed out on the early AC Milan good team, the early 90s. So I came in just as Juventus became the dominant force in Europe. So it was, I mean, obviously then I saw the Lazios and the Palmers who were just like so fun with all their, like, they like just were factories for world-class players back then.
Yeah.
That was dead good in that sense. But playing wise, I have earlier memories, but I couldn't really put them into words, or like I can just imagine them, like picture them. But there was one memory of like, I used to be a striker, funny enough, when I was younger, like coming out of 5s into 7s and 9s and then 11s. And the main reason was because I was just one of the taller dickheads in the age group. So I was always the one, like, put the tall one up front. And it paid off because one game, I remember our right back just put the ball long. I've chased it down. And obviously back then, you didn't get taught how to head properly. You just like jump up and just salmon it. Like you just had no technique to it. Anyway, jumped up to head it, bounced off my back, went over the keeper and in. And I remember that must have been about 94, 95 as well. So, I mean, that's my earliest memory. It was a shit goal, but I scored a goal. That's pretty much all I remember. So, yeah. I mean, it's not that interesting, but yeah.
No, it's good to know.
Would you pick, I'm going to have to change this slightly. Would you pick United to win the league, Watford to win any silverware, or England to win the World Cup?
England to win World Cup, hands down.
I like that.
I think like, I said it as well yesterday, earlier in the show, like, I've tasted euphoria with Watford and United already. Like, the two standout moments, obviously, for United are the Champions League wins. Right, you can't. I don't care what Liverpool fans will say. Like, the greatest thing is like when it's done in the moment. So like United winning it within a minute, like in '99, or winning it on penalties against you boys, and then you boys did the same against Bayern. But then that was the way that Drogba scored in the last minute, and then won on a penalties. Like that's a double one, right? So you've got that double euphoria. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Liverpool enjoyed the Milan game in '05, but it's over a whole half, so the kind of like the whole thing is diluted a little bit more. Like the instant euphoria, just like in your veins. It just like, I remember the Chelsea one, I collapsed on the floor because I was just like so over the moon. But like, so I mean, and again with Watford, like there's been moments where just like it's pure elation. So I've kind of, and I'm realistic with Watford. I know we're not going to win any silverware. Like the FA Cup final last year. Like I had a feeling on the day, I was like, we're going to do it, boys. But like, as soon as they got going, you just knew it wasn't happening. And again, it wasn't about winning on that day. When you look back, everyone was in agreement that actually our Wolves 3-2 win was probably a much better day.
Yeah.
because obviously Deeney scoring equalised in the last minute, coming from 2-0 down to win 3-2 with Delafeu scoring extra time, like that was just everything. And where I was sitting as well, right behind the goal with like the 1881, which is like the main like group of Watford fans, it was just the classiest day ever. Then obviously like there's the Leicester game, do you know what I mean? And like Watford, I was going away to away games with Watford, and Watford like the last couple of seasons, we've just had some incredible away days. Like with under Gracia and Silva, we were like scoring last minute winners and equalisers like nearly every week. And it was just absolute scenes. And obviously, like if any of you, like any boys have been to an away day, they just know like absolute scenes that are behind that. And it's like the whole day. It's just so class. So I mean, again, the World Cup is like the be all and end all, right? Like since I was a kid, my earliest footballing memory actually of England was at the Euro '96, because obviously '94 didn't happen. '90 I was too young, and it was a summer fair, and I was in a beer tent, and I remember watching England Spain, and I remember watching David Seaman saving the penalties. And obviously I've watched the England Scotland thing, but like I remember sitting in the beer tent in the corner, hidden. My mum had spent 2 hours looking for us, and I was hiding in the beer tent watching England Spain game. And like even since then, like I've just diehard England. Like some of you obviously know I've got England tattoo on my back. And it's just like that would be that. I don't know if I'd survive if England won a World Cup. That'd finish me off. I'd be in so much trouble if England won a World Cup. Like last World Cup, obviously was a bit much, and I got into this zone where I couldn't leave my house. I had to watch every England game at home or home with a dog, and that was just something else. And that was the worst thing. Like that was probably England have played so much better at other World Cups and not done as well. Like that was so poor from England, that World Cup, and somehow we got to the semis undeservedly. Then flopped against Colombia, flopped against Croatia. It's raw, hurting me now thinking about it.
Still,
yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Your best attribute as a person and a player, if they're not the same things.
Yeah. I don't know actually. So I'll do the footballing one first because that's a little easier. I think if we're talking sevens, which I think is better to do, I think my reading and understanding of the game is a little higher than most, and I think I'm able, like necessarily. Again, I was saying it earlier, like my brain can do a lot more than my feet can these days. So I can read the game and I know what's going to happen, and I know what I want to do, and I know how players can play and all that. And again, not necessarily means I can do it, but I think my understanding and reading the game is probably my strength in that sense. And so again, like I feel like I can score a lot of goals by not necessarily being the better player or being, able to shoot from anywhere, but like just being in the right place at the right time and reacting at the right place at the right time and stuff that, like, again, is not natural to other people. So I think that's probably my best quality.
Yeah.
Best quality as a person, Jesus. Now you're clutching at straws, aren't you? I don't know, like...
Azza, didn't I tell you?
What?
Didn't I tell you before Jake came on part?
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you that you asked me, what do I think of Jake? And I was like, I love him as a person. Yeah, he's a great person. But I'm not sure how much he believes that.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you? And now look at him.
I don't know, like, I'm also quite coy about these kind of things. I don't like toot my own horn too much, which is funny because I obviously do that anyway. But I don't know, like, I used to think I was a really positive, like, outgoing person in a good way, but I think that's actually just a code word for dickhead. Just the loud, obnoxious twat. But I don't know, like, I think my quality of, I think I'm able to talk to all sorts of people, and I'm able, not necessarily to change who I am, but like I'm quite comfortable and able to get on with all sorts. Like, you know, I work with people like double my age who are like, you know, just got no relation to me, but then I can chill with you boys the same day and then go home and sit with my family and then go and see my mates in the pub, and like, I could do it all as without kind of having to think or break a sweat. And like, I think my adaptability in that sense is quite good. And I think, socially, like, my girlfriend loves taking me out or putting me in situations because, you know, she doesn't have to worry. So like her mates' weddings, I've never met anyone, and she'll see me an hour later on the dance floor on my own with like a whole group of people that she doesn't even know. So I think she likes that about us, and I'd probably say that's the thing I get a lot of love for, probably.
Yeah, I would agree on that one, to be fair. Most influential person.
That's a toughie because I think I've always been a mummy's boy at heart. And so, like, I adore my mum to bits and, like, worship the ground she walks on. And I took her for granted so many years because I was a fucking twat when I was a kid. And so when I was such a hard work, and obviously I didn't at all appreciate my mum had a whole rest of the family to look after. My granddad, her dad, was always there to catch me when I fell. And I think her side of the family, so her mum and dad, my nan and granddad, were always there for us. And like we're still very close to them. Like every day after work, used to before all of this, used to go see my nan every day after work and stuff. And like, you know, we're very close. So I think they're like the people that I'd probably say I look up to and respect the most. And they're my biggest influences in terms of like they've taught me how to be as a person. And like I think I've always tried to like live and impress them the way I would be, like want to do it right by them. So like if they were watching over me, which my pops is and my granddad is, sorry, I think if he was watching over me, he'd be proud of the person I am, even if I'm not like, you know, a millionaire or whatever. But I think as a character, I think they would be happy with my character, which I kind of like learned from them. So that's probably where I get it from.
Nice answer.
Nice. I'm going to scrub one. I'm going to do this as last one, and then we'll go on to if there's anyone for Sam.
Why are you scrubbing one?
No, because I'll just put. Would you say you was a teacher's pet or class clown at school?
I was certainly not a teacher's pet. I wasn't a class clown though either because I was if it was one of the two, but I was just a dickhead. Like I went to Watford Boys. So if you boys know Watford Boys, at the time especially, it was the highest ranked public school in the country. So I had every opportunity afforded to me, and I just tossed it away because I just didn't want to be there, didn't care, and I wanted to be the reckless child who was like the naughty one.
Yeah.
So it's just I wasted education, but also education wasn't for me anyway. I just never wanted to do it, so I just sacked it off. Like I had a full-time job whilst I was in sixth form, and so my was just shit. So yeah, just fucked it. So.
And then the last one was what is your biggest fear?
Do you know what? Like very recently as well, I think it's been not being able to play football. Like not playing football has been like a big thing for me. And like as I get older as well, I start to worry that like, what am I going to do once I can't play football? Because it's such an integral part of my life, and I realise that like watching it isn't enough. I need to be able to play it, and I always worry like, what happens if I can't? And it's funny, right? Because obviously we're in a situation now where we're not playing, and I'm able to get by because I've got distractions and stuff. But like, if I'm not able to physically do it anymore, that'd probably be really hard to adjust to. But I think as well, being lonely, I'm not very good on my own. I rely a lot on other people, like my family, my friends, and especially my missus. Like, I wouldn't know what to do without her, to be honest, just because I'm not very good looking after myself. Like, not that I couldn't, but I wouldn't motivate myself to do anything. I'd just be a lazy little shit and just vegetate.
You need a bit of kick up the ass.
Yeah, literally. I need someone to keep me in check, and she does that very well. But like, also gives me my own space, and like gives me enough rope to strangle myself with, as they say. And then she'll rein it in just before that happens.
Bless.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of desert island style. Favorite song? I know it's always a tricky one, but favorite song, one of them at least.
Oh no, don't worry, I've got this for you. So the best song ever written, hands down, is Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Like, there's no argument there. I won't hear it, and it's therefore become my karaoke song as well. But I mean, it's a tricky one to get away with. But I mean, it's just epic on every level. It does everything for you. But that being said, it's not necessarily. I mean, I grew up with my old man's music blaring through my ears, so I've got a lot of old school music kind of influences. So yeah, I'm quite happy with all the classics. Although I don't know, actually, like, yeah, I'd probably say Queen Bohemian Rhapsody is probably my favourite ever song. Is there
a video of you doing the karaoke?
Yeah, there's way too many. There's some on Facebook, I think. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mate, there's a.
It's real now. No, I will not let you go. Let it go. It's real now. We will not let you go. Let it go. It's real now. We will not let you go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let me go. Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has the devil put aside for me, for me, for me.
I love a bit of karaoke, so I've done it a fair few times. But like, I used to do Angels as well by Robbie Williams. Felt that one right out. What did I do for initiation? I think I did Robbie Williams' Angels for initiation as well. So yeah.
So you can do a whole episode. Like, Azza, do your team do initiations as well?
Where we did try to for a little while, but it kind of went off. We didn't really do that too much after. But yeah, I'm sure we got some funny videos knocking around as well.
Yeah, there's a few classics that are like last year. I think we got kicked out of 2 bars for doing initiations because you have to get on the table and do it, obviously.
That's true, yeah.
So it was just a fucking nightmare. It was fantastic.
Okay, favorite movie?
Recent times it'd be Inception. Like that one just fucked with my mind in a good way. Like, and I had to watch it over and over again. Every time I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Another weird one, which like I don't actually think it's my favorite movie, but I remember it's the only film I've ever gone to the cinema more than once to watch was Jurassic Park 3. I absolutely loved that. And I won't hear a bad word said about any of the Jurassic Park films. I love them all. Even the shit one, with the first one with Chris Pratt. I love Chris Pratt, but that one was so poor. So I hate Bryce Dallas Howard. And even that I enjoy and I watch again, even though it's shit. I'm totally enamored by the MCU, and I got my girlfriend like into it. Like she's all over it as well. So like we did a rewatch, and we watched every single one in order, leading up to Endgame.
Nice.
And so, like obviously Endgame's I've got to be up there now because that was just the epic payoff.
Yeah.
Everything. Inception. Forrest Gump, another great film.
Classic.
Yeah, that Gump.
I'm sure I'm missing one as well, but yeah, I'm not. Do you know what? Surprisingly, I'm not a big fan of like the gangster ones, like The Godfather and Scarface. They all go over my head a little bit. And what was the film the other day? I watched it. I thought that was shit. Breakfast Club as well. Like I watched that and I was just like, that's pony. So like, there's a lot of well-rated films. I'm a bit like, bit naff. Yeah.
I've never listened to like stuff like Rotten Tomatoes or even people's opinions of stuff, or even the ones that win awards, because it is down to personal preference. So as popular as Godfather is, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's fair enough. How about the best advice you've ever been given in your life? Maybe a quote or something you've heard, or maybe something someone said to you.
So yeah, I don't retain that very well. I'm pretty used to that kind of thing, but I think like a lot of stuff that I now kind of like stick in my head is kind of like the whole positivity thing. So when I was a little younger, when I was a teenager, I used to live by this motto of carpe diem, like seize the day and like live every day as if it's your last. And turns out it's a pretty stupid way to live, because you actually can't really have a future, or you can't kind of you can live for the moment, but you can't really. You've got to be thinking ahead as well at the same time. Yeah. I think so. I've adapted it slightly as I've grown a little bit older and dumber, and I've kind of changed it to no one ever gets out alive of the ride that we're on. So you might as well just enjoy the ride that we're on, because it's going to end for everyone at some point. So, and again, rich or poor, you're all ending up 6 feet under. So you might as well just like live your life and enjoy it while you're here, because this pandemic alone shows you like you can just be taken in a moment. So you might as well enjoy it. And again, not to take life too seriously, because no one gets out alive. So.
Yeah, very much so. Agreed. And really quickly before we go to a break, because we're running out of time, favorite childhood show when you were young? What's a show that really sticks out for you?
Jesus, I mean, are we talking childhood?
It's up to you. It can be maybe anything up till your teenage years, maybe.
I liked Simpsons a lot when I was a kid. I think like that was obviously something in the 90s that was always on. So I'd probably say Simpsons. I used to watch, when I got home from school, I watched BBC and ITV religiously. I didn't have like Nickelodeon or anything like that. So it was always just like whatever was on BBC or ITV, which are always shit if you're looking back. Like, I don't care for any of them. I'd probably say Simpsons. I just love the Simpsons. And then it became Futurama was like my thing back then as well. I love Futurama. Those are animated ones that I can really think of when I was a kid that I loved.
The classics.
Yeah, man.
And lastly, fame or fortune?
I'm an attention seeker, so it'd probably be fame, wouldn't it? But then with fame comes fortune if you're smart.
If you're smart,
Possible.
but it's more of like if you had to choose one.
Well, no, 'cause that's the thing. I am an attention-seeking twat, but then that brings me into like the whole. I would rather be rich. I would rather be rich because I'd rather actually just because I am also actually quite a selfish, lonely git when I want to be. So I'd rather do with the money than everyone else can do one. So I don't need anyone else to know about my life as long as I've got money to live it myself. Yeah.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So that's the questions from me. When we come back after this, Azza's going to be going quick fire on Jake. So join us after this.
How many quick fires have we got?
One more round.
Okay. Hey. Here we go.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Right, Jakey, we've got the quick fire round now. You just got to say one thing out of the two options I give you, okay?
Cheese. Melons.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Xbox, PlayStation.
PlayStation. Never had one. Scumbags, a lot of them.
McDonald's, Burger King.
McDonald's all day.
Watford United.
Watford nowadays.
Cena Reigns.
John Cena.
Men's football, women's football.
Men's football, definitely. Love watching
Malik,
men run around in shorts.
Malik, no Malik.
Malik.
AJ or Seth.
Say that. Sorry. Say it again.
AJ or Seth.
Oh, AJ Styles completely. Although when Seth's a heel, he's decent.
Men or women.
Women.
Azza or Sam.
So I've known Azza longer, so I thought about this in advance. I have to go with Azza just for friendship length of time. I've got to be loyal to the. In the same way, if I'd known Sam longer, I'd have to say him. So.
All right, well done, mate.
So that doesn't necessarily mean it's on an honest answer, but that's the answer I provided.
Of course. The thing is, the way it was going, and I don't know if there's some vendetta against Azza, but I was going to start doing a tally chart of how many people chose me, but
We are keeping a tally, right?
it's 2-2.
Yeah, I am mentally anyway.
So I was under the understanding there should be a tally chart kept, and then come the end of the thing, there's a punishment for the loser.
Oh, okay.
People are going to start changing their answers now you've said that.
Oh no, but then there's got to be a punishment. So like the winner's got to like down a pint of milk or a gallon of milk, and then the loser's got to like chug a keg of beer upside down or something like ridiculous like that. I don't know. Or the winner gets to kick a football at the loser's face.
Okay. So there's stipulation for both, basically, the winner and the loser.
Yeah, I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's got to be something in it. There's got to be something in it for you.
Well, all right.
Just being like's good enough for me.
Well, how are you getting on? 2-2, isn't it, at the moment? Or what? 2-1?
2-1.
You're winning.
Azza.
Yeah, that's right.
Go on.
I'm behind.
Got to get those early points in, mate.
Yeah, you know it, mate.
I've
I've got a lot of haters coming on soon.
I think I'll be okay for the next few weeks. It's fine. Once Jake's out of the way, I think. Right, okay. It is now time for this. And that's right. It's a somewhat of a one-off segment because we're going to be stepping into the ring with Jake. And as some of you may know, that Jake is a big wrestling fan, and as am I, and as am Azza, as is Azza. So we're going to be. And Jake, you mentioned that you had the privilege of being in New Orleans. There it is. It was Finn Balor. You had the privilege of being in New Orleans for WrestleMania, for the end of the Undertaker's streak, and for quite a major one. I mean, obviously you didn't know what was going to happen, and for that to happen and you be there, that must have been pretty special.
Yeah, Mania 30. I think looking back, because there's been quite a few poor ones that have been leading up to it. I think I think it's been rated in one of the top 5s, but then there's obviously been some really good ones since then. But I think, yeah, like it was one of the good ones, and I think because of the main event, because of the matches that were on the card, and because of the Taker match especially. But then, like the night after was Paige's debut, when Paige won her first title against AJ Lee, so that was a pretty big thing. And it was also the night after was when the Shield turned on the Authority, so that was quite a big storyline. So obviously the Shield were at their height of their powers, which was fantastic. Even though they had I don't know if you remember, they had a really shit match at Mania against the New Age Outlaws and Kane, and it lasted like 2 minutes. It was really disappointing considering at No Way Out. Sorry, No Way Out? Was it called No Way Out? At the pay-per-view in February, they faced the Wyatt family, and they had a brilliant program that was built with the Wyatt family. And they just like shot it down for some reason, which was really weird. But then they went on to like obviously do their thing. And then obviously that was the weekend the Ultimate Warrior passed away. So I was at the Raw with Ultimate Warrior, did his speech and stuff. And then like that night he died. So it was all pretty surreal. But then obviously being in New Orleans was just incredible. Been on Bourbon Street, just like parties with wrestling fans for like 2 days straight. It was absolutely class. It was so good.
I don't know why, but I always thought you went to 26. I don't know why that's in my head.
Nah, that was years before that, wasn't it? That was I can't even think what that one was. That would have been Taker Triple H, the second trip Taker Triple H at Mania. That one, because that was the one after. Oh no, that was Taker Michaels too, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I was at 25,
which was the first Taker Michaels. Yeah.
I hit the jackpot with that because I think it's probably well documented that may well be the best Mania match going now. So I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, I mean that was class, wasn't it? Just the whole.
And that's a pretty good Mania overall as well. To be fair, it was quite decent.
Yeah, I think Angle was on the card, wasn't he?
Nah.
Was he on it? No, Shawn Michaels was certainly on it against. Was that Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels versus Taker. Sorry, I meant
Hunter and Orton.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great card.
Yeah, had obviously Man in the Bank ladder match. They had Jeff and Matt. So it was decent.
That was when Benjamin ran off the ladder and jumped off from outside inside off the ladder, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you a good one quickly, real quick now. I brought it up. There was a like hardcore Edge fan sitting next to me and Rossi, right? Or he was just in front of us, one seat to the left. And he was going fucking mental, mate. I've never seen a fan like it. Like he was probably like, I don't know, 45 or whatever. And me and Rossi, right? Yeah, but he was hardcore. I swear to you now, I swear to God, the man walked out the building the second that match was over and Edge didn't win, and he never come back, mate. He must have missed 2 or 3 matches, mate, after that.
What, like the main events as well?
Yeah, missed a lot, mate. Never come back. So, yeah, that was quite funny. But, yeah, anyway, yeah.
I mean, you two have been lucky enough to go. I mean, I've only been able to go to maybe like a couple of Raws and stuff like that, if it's been local here, like in Wembley or in O2 or something like that. But you two have been lucky enough to go to Manias. That's impressive. So, it sounds like you two are big wrestling fans, but there can only be one true Ultimate Wrestling fan. So let's 5 questions. I've set up 5 questions for both of you. It's going to be one hint about a wrestler, and we'll let the guest go first, and then we'll do Azza, and then we'll see who can get the highest score out of these questions. 1 hint, 1 wrestler, 5 questions. Are you ready, Jake?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. It'll start off easy and then it'll get harder. Which wrestler is known as the Heartbreak Kid?
That'll be Shawn Michaels.
Who gave Brett his first championship belts? WWE championship.
Who gave Brett?
Who did he defeat?
See, I know that. This is before my time. This is mid-90s.
Azza, do you think you know this one?
Yeah, 100%. I know it.
We'll bring it over to you if he doesn't know.
So his first WWE title. Randy Savage?
No, I thought you were going to say the right one there. Let's move over to Az, do you know?
Ric Flair?
It is indeed. It is the
Oh, okay.
Ric Flair.
Fair play.
Fantastic. Who went undefeated with a record of 173-0?
So that was probably Goldberg, right?
It is indeed in WCW days, Bill Goldberg. Who was managed by Mr. Fuji?
Yokozuna.
Correct. Very good. And who was kicked from the Four Horsemen for not conceding the belt to Ric Flair?
Again, way before my time. Let's think. I'm gonna have to go with Arn Anderson, but that's just a stab in the dark.
That would have been my. If I didn't look up the answers, I wouldn't know. That would have been my guess. Azza, do you know?
No, if I'm honest, I cannot remember the other two's names. So I would have probably just gone on as well.
The thing is, I looked at this answer and it's like it doesn't seem right to me, but I'm just going according to what I found. Apparently, it was Sting.
Sting?
Yeah, it sounds.
The Four Horsemen.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it was Sting before he was Sting, but
Okay.
I think I might have to research that one. But
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay, a solid 3 out of 5. Jake, let's
Weak.
see if Azza can.
I want his answer on my tally as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You got the knowledge, but then he's got the same opportunity. If you don't know an answer, we'll put it over to him.
I can steal.
Yeah,
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
ready. Azza, here we go. Who was the original leader of the Nation of Domination?
Farouk.
Yes, Farouk, indeed it was, correct. Who competed against Shawn Michaels in the first ever ladder match?
Razor Ramon. Could you hear me?
See, again, I'm a bit curious. Was Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon the first ever ladder match, or was it the first? Was it like the more well-known ladder match?
What have you got down there? I would have said Razor as well, but go on.
Because according to my sources, it was Bret Hart.
In the first ever ladder match.
The first ever.
Mate,
ladder.
if that's what you've got down, but
I'll give you Razor Ramon because that was my guess as well. And then I saw it, I was like, okay, fine. But I'll give you Razor Ramon.
I didn't remember Bret having a ladder match.
Yeah, not me either. I don't remember this either. But anyway, we'll
to be
go
fair,
back.
look, the first ever ladder match in WWE took place on July 21st, 92. It was Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. Hart beat Shawn Michaels to the WWE to retain the Intercontinental title.
There you go. I guess listen to the quick. But again, it's so like kind of undocumented, and I'm guessing because the Montreal Screwjob kind of takes like that kind of.
I want footage of this match, and I want it presented to me today.
We'll do an overlay, and we'll put the video on top of this one. So no. So the answer is the first ever ladder match, as Jake confirmed, was between HBK and Bret the Hitman Hart. Number 3, who won the first ever WWE Championship? Well, their first ever WWE Championship in Survivor Series 98 by beating Mankind.
The Rock.
Correct. And number 4, who used to be known as the 1-2-3 Kid?
X-Pac. What do you want? His real name?
No.
Okay.
X-Pac is fun, but bonus point if you go one more and tell us his real name. I don't even know.
I can tell you his fucking real name, mate.
I don't know.
No, I can't remember his second name now. I'm under pressure. Is it Sean Waltman or something like that?
Fucking hell. Yes, it is.
Yes!
And last but not least, which female won the Intercontinental Championship in 1999?
Giving out freebies here, Jesus. I'll give you her real name as well if you want.
Leave it out, mate. Was it China?
Who else was it going to be back in 99?
No, because
It wasn't me Jacqueline, was it? It wasn't me Ivory.
Bret Hart's first title one wrong, mate. That's an easy one.
Mate, I was like 5 years old. I wasn't even watching wrestling back then.
What do you want? Loads of Cena questions.
Yeah, give me late 90s, 2000s, and I'll laugh at you.
Okay, so Jake, a bonus point for telling us her real name.
Joni Laura.
Jeez, actually, again, it rings a bell now that you've said it, but I wouldn't have been able to remember that. And as a one more bonus point, if you say it in the Donald Trump voice, what her name is.
Hey? I didn't even catch what her name is anyway. But I could tell you where you can find it on Pornhub.
I'm sure Azza will put a link in the description for all of us right there. There you go. That's our wrestling quiz, and it seems that Azza's come out on top. But I feel maybe we need to readjust the questions to make them more era appropriate. But yeah, two big wrestling fans in our midst. Very nice. But now we're moving on from one quiz onto another. This is the one that really matters. This is the one about the league standings, because now it's time for this.
The champions.
That's right. It's time for the intro theme. That means it's time for the midweek league. Right. So as we know, there's 10 questions to answer. You've got 1 minute to answer as many as you can. And let's see if Addy, I believe Addy's top of the leaderboard, if he can be toppled. And
what did he get? 3?
Yeah. The questions aren't forgiving, and I was a bit. I didn't know how to approach it because I didn't want to kind of give any spoilers for you guys when I was putting the questions together. But because Jake is a quizmaster himself and he does a lot of quizzes, I was maybe trying to find questions that he wouldn't have used, or I don't know them. Do you know?
So that's code for it's even harder.
Well, no, that's the thing though. So what I did is I decided to make them. These are probably some of the more easier ones, and they're just easy for both of you. So let's see if you can handle the pressure. Pretty much.
I know. I was looking at Im's and Addy's quiz, and I was thinking, because I did it myself, and I got like 4s or 5s, I think, in both. And I just thought I'm gonna do so much better in the ones that aren't my quiz, and it's gonna come to mine. And I'm gonna absolutely bottle it on the big stage. So
let's find out. So let's see who's gonna go first. And this is a completely random thing, and it's the nearest to pin thing, pretty much. So you guys got to answer me this and have your closest guess. How old was I when I first threw up in school?
12.
You're going to go with 12, and Azza, you're going with?
I was going to say 11.
You're going to go 11. So the answer is 4. So Azza, you are correct. It was on my very first day at school, literally the first day, and I threw up all over my maths book and went home early, and that pretty much set the tone for my educational career. So,
what was the reason you threw up?
I don't know. I probably just the sight of work probably just put me off, but I couldn't tell you. And you know, those first days of school is a half day. It's like a taster day. So I wasn't even supposed to be in the whole day. So I had half a half day. So it was.
We weren't having it.
It was never. But Azza, you're going to go first for answering that random question correctly. Are you ready?
I am, mate. I am.
Let's get your timer ready. Okay. And your time starts now. Where did David Seaman go after leaving Arsenal?
Oh, shit. I was going to say City.
Correct. Which London club was the first Premier team to be relegated twice?
Fulham?
No, it was Palace. Which international footballing side were the inspiration for the phrase total football?
Spain?
No, it's Netherlands. How many Premier League titles have Manchester United won?
13?
Correct. Who was the goalkeeper when Diego Maradona scored his Hand of God goal?
Gordon Banks?
No, Peter Shilton. Who was the
come on.
£1 million footballer?
Say that again. The first
ever £1 million footballer.
Neymar?
No, it was Trevor Francis. Who was the first Who was the first Brazilian club? Which Brazilian club did Pelé play most of his career for?
Santos?
Yes, I'll give you that right on the buzzer. And a respectable 3. Neymar?
What am I doing?
What the question was there, mate?
100 million I had in my head. I didn't even listen to what you said properly. What was I thinking? And what was the other one? I should have got fucking Shilton, for fuck's sake.
But no, hey, listen. You've gone from a consistent 2-2, and now you bumped it up to 3. So I feel that the pressure is starting to ease on you a little bit. You're finding your pocket a little bit.
Watch next week, mate. The shackles are off next week.
Let's see if you're all sizzle and no steak. Jake, here we go. Are you ready?
No, but let's do it.
Let's see if you can beat Azza's 3. Your time starts now. No, it doesn't. because technology is failing me. That will be smoothly edited out. Okay, ready? Your time starts now. How many West Ham players were named in the England starting 11 for the 1966 World Cup final?
Oh, Jesus. 3.
Correct. Who is the only player to win the Champions League with 3 different clubs?
I want to say Seedorf.
Correct. Which player was sold for the highest transfer fee ever received by a Premier League team?
By Premier League team. Maguire or Coutinho. Maguire?
Oh, it was Coutinho. Which Italian club was founded in 1899 by 2 English expats as a football and cricket club?
Juve.
No, it's AC Milan. What's Stoke City's nickname?
The Potters.
Correct. Who is the current Ballon d'Or holder?
Ballon d'Or holder is Ronaldo.
No, it's Messi. Who scored the first ever Premier League goal?
I can picture it's a black guy. Brian Dean.
Oh, on the buzzer! What drama! You managed to sneak in a 4 right on the buzzer. Oh my goodness!
This is a.
Can't believe I got the Messi question wrong.
Well, it was a 50-50, to be honest. Again, I don't know these things unless I see them as the quizmaster. But Jake, you have just about literally, and you were talking, it's so interesting that you talk about these moments of euphoria as a Watford fan and these last minute winners and all that. And that's exactly what you've done here in the quiz. Go top of the leaderboard and to go above Addy. Azza, you have broken your own record with a 3, but Jake, you are top of the league with a resounding 4, and the league looks like this. And things are really starting to hot up now, and I'm sure as more players come on, things are going to get a little bit tasty. But of course, we'll be having Jake back on, we'll be having Imzi and Addy back on as well. So they've all got their chance, and of course, Azza's got his weekly chance to topple the champion.
Do you know who I think is going to be the dark horse to win it all? Is going to be Z. Z, I think, is the all-knowing, all-powerful statistician. I think he'll be the one to reckon with.
Yeah, he knows stuff, to be fair, see.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because he's a dark horse because he's quite low-key as well, isn't he? He doesn't say a lot. He doesn't, but then the facts are there.
Yeah, he keeps it up there for sure.
He's got his investment head on, definitely. Fantastic. Jake, how do you feel top of the league?
I feel like I could have done more though. So I feel like I let myself down on a couple of them there. I'm resenting myself for regretful answers. AC Milan I should have got. Yeah, Messi I definitely should have got.
I was expecting you to get the Messi one, to be fair.
Yeah. It's because what I remember when, like, so this is the thing, right? Messi is just like by far the best player that's ever played the game. His stats are just insane. Like by anyone else's standards, like they're just like he's unparalleled, right? Like even Ronaldo doesn't compare to him pretty much. And so I remember the outcry, like he didn't win something, or he came second like 2 years ago or something, didn't he? And there was the outcry because actually he still statted Ronaldo, but because it was a poor season for him, he just got dismissed. Crazy. And he was still just like the best player by far statistically, and it was just insane.
But I mean, I guess when you're that elite and you're in that upper echelon of players, then you're there to be aimed at. You've got a target on your back, and people will find any reason to try and kind of drop you down.
I've just remembered another bad one. How did I get the total football one wrong?
Oh yeah,
You know. Ask anybody. Ask Ryan. Ask Rossi. How many times I bang on about total football? Our pro clubs, right? I bang on about it because I'm the Ellie and we wear the Dutch kit as well, and I still got it. For fuck's sake,
subliminal, mate. You've got the Spain shirt on. It tricked you.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that's what's happened. I've absolutely fucked myself.
It's incredible. I just put on a timer on my iPhone, and all your knowledge goes to shit, no matter how good you guys are. The pressure. But that's it. So that's it for the midweek league. But now, coming towards the end of the show, and we know what time it is. We know it's time for this.
Time on the bar.
That's right, it's time for the final call. And that's for me to have a little bit of fun. Azza doesn't know what's coming. He knows that I prepare something for him. He doesn't know what I've got in store for him. Again, we're going to stick with the wrestling theme, seeing as that seems to be the theme of the show. Azza, would you say you know wrestlers pretty well? It seems like your knowledge is pretty hefty on that.
I think so. Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, and Jake, you would say the same?
Depends what you're going to chuck at me here, Sam. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident on the modern day stuff. Last 20 odd years, I'll be happy with. So.
Okay, well, let's see how well you two do as well, because some of these wrestling names can be quite outlandish and quite random. So now it's time to play this or that. And we're going to start off with Azza, and I'm going to be giving you a name, and it will be the name of a wrestler or be the name of a porn star. And you're going to have to tell me which one you believe it is. So when I say someone's name, you're going to say either wrestler or you're going to say porn star, and then depending on your score at the end, it will be give us a bit more information about how you've been spending your time in lockdown.
I was about to say, I'd imagine he'll know the porn stars as well, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, the chances are I know them both, mate. But yeah, let's do this.
Okay, no time limit on this one, but let's try and run through them quickfire as quickly as possible. So just say wrestler or porn star. Here we go. Azza, Balls Mahoney.
Wrestler.
Correct. Robert Van Dam.
Porn.
Correct. Grandmaster Sexay.
Wrestler.
Good. Karma.
Porn.
No, wrestler. Waylon Mercy.
Porn.
No, wrestler. Herschel Savage.
Porn.
Correct. Just Incredible.
Wrestler.
Correct. Frenchie Martin.
Frenchie Martin. Porn.
No, wrestler. Eric Everhard.
Porn.
Correct. Veronica Hart.
Wrestler.
No, porn star. Chris Charming.
Wrestler.
No, porn star. Randy Spears.
Porn.
Correct. Bend Over.
Porn.
Correct. Lexington Steele.
Wrestler.
No, porn star. Lexi Bell.
Wrestler.
No, porn star. Mike Awesome.
Wrestler.
Correct. Huge G Reaction. Oh, I'm sorry. I've said that wrong. I've said that correctly. Huge G Reaction.
Yeah, we've got to be porn, surely.
He's a wrestler. Somehow. Angelina Love.
Porn.
No, wrestler. Sky Lopez.
Wrestler.
No, porn star. Danny Mountain.
What is going on here? Wrestler.
No, porn star. Tyler Knight.
Wrestler.
No, porn star. One Man Gang.
That's a wrestler.
Correct. And Guy De Silva.
Porn.
Correct. We weren't keeping score, but I'm sure the score will come up there. Jake, now you know what to expect. Are you ready?
Well, I think, yeah, this is going to be interesting and just funny. So go on, let's do it.
And I saw you... As Azza was answering, I saw Jake kind of nodding along and shaking his head and all sorts. So let's see how we will test his knowledge as well and maybe getting him in trouble with his missus. Are you ready, Jake?
Yeah, bring it on.
Here we go. Randy West.
All right, I've got to go porn star.
Correct, although he did play a wrestler in one of his movies. But yes, that's an interesting little...
How do you know that?
It says it on my sheet. CM Punk.
Wrestler.
Correct. Ken Shamrock.
Wrestler.
Van Damage.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to go porn star. I've never heard of him. So.
Correct. Frank Gunn.
I'm going to say porn star.
Correct. Val Venus.
Wrestler.
I mean, you'd have been allowed to say both in that situation, but yes.
Basically, his gimmick was a porn star, wasn't it?
Exactly. Big John Studd.
Wrestler.
Correct. Buck Adams.
Say wrestler.
No, porn star. Eric Stryker.
Wrestler.
Porn star. Dick Nasty.
It's too obvious. That's got to be a red herring. He's got to be a wrestler.
He's a porn star. It's right on the nose for you there.
Go on the nose, yeah.
Max Moon.
Max Moon. Wrestler.
Correct. Mr. Perfect.
Wrestler.
Brutus Beefcake.
Wrestler.
Trinity.
It's probably both, but I'm going to say porn star.
Well, I mean, the likelihood is that it will be both, but here it says wrestler, so we're going to go with wrestler. Johnny Darko.
Johnny what, sorry?
Johnny Darko.
Wrestler?
No, it's a porn star. Velvet Sky.
Wrestler.
Correct. Serenity.
Sounds like a wrestler, but I bet it's a porn star.
You going with porn star?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a porn star, but again, it could be either, couldn't it? Spanky.
Yeah. Wrestler.
Correct. Evan Stone.
Sounds like a porn star.
Correct. Shawn Michaels. Sean Michaels.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to go with porn star then.
Matthew Rush. I think I gave that one away for you.
You did little. Matthew Rush sounds just like a normal guy's name, so it's got to be a porn star.
Correct. And finally, Dude Love.
Yeah, wrestler. I can't do the knees, but...
One of Mick Foley's many alter egos. Fantastic. Thank you guys for playing Wrestler or Porn Star, this or that. And that's time for the last call. And Jake, that's our time. Thank you so much for coming
Thank God it's over. I think we've got enough content for the rest of the summer here, boys. So I think that's just screwed everyone else's plans of getting a show in, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, mate. Yeah.
What can you
Lucky
do?
it was a good
When you've got the quality, you don't need to replace him. You just keep him rolling every week.
Regardless of how many days this recording has spanned, I think it is a sign of definitely good company when you kind of just lose track of time. You don't remember to eat. You just realize afterwards that the stomach's rumbling, as his legs were dead, and like we were like in a complete state afterwards. But that's always a sign of a good guest and good company. So now the bar has been set for everyone else in the group. Now everyone else is going to come on. You've got a standard to reach now.
Step it up, chumps. Especially you, Shafi.
Fantastic. Jake, any last words, any parting thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I've got two questions for you, actually. So my first question was going to be, what are your two biggest bugbears about Power League Sevens with our Wednesday night lot?
Is that for both of us?
Oh.
Yeah, so my one, for example, is when we started the game, we're in the middle of a game, and then the guy walks over the pitch and goes, "Someone hasn't paid, boys." That's my bugbear. That's the one that really gets me.
Does it get you because he comes in and subs the game, or because someone just hasn't paid?
Well, it's not his fault because the boy needs money, doesn't he? But like, it's like someone knows they haven't paid. Like someone knows that, right? And like, it's just, you know, it's causing us aggro, and it stops the game, and it's like, it's just so much of a hassle because everyone stands around like no one knows. Oh, it just annoys the shit out of me. So like, it wears me thin. So I just wanted to know what your two were.
No, that is a good one because it is annoying, especially when the game's really good and then we've got to stop and then someone's got to run around and go and pay because he ain't waiting around. He wants it there and then, doesn't he? So yeah, that's
the one that gets me.
Obviously, I hate lateness.
Yeah, but so do I.
Yeah, I bet. No, not like I said. I don't care. Like, you ain't gonna start being a wank over fucking 5 minutes, are you? But everybody knows, especially when at the fucking front desk, we ain't getting no extra time. So if you're 10, 15 late, then that's when it's borderline piss taking, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah.
But I can't think of anything else apart from the fact that what really, really does my head in, Jake, is that half of them lads can't fucking play, mate. And you got to sit there coaching them. It's really hard work, to be honest.
You're going to stop the episode at this rate, man.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that bite on the group for that one.
Just like realise, good enough, mate. Know where your level is, and just listen to what the better players are telling you. It ain't hard.
Yeah, that's their everything. Like, I mean, I don't. You know, you want to just do as much as you can, maximise your time on the ball, I guess. So fair play. I would probably do the same if I was in that position. Selfish, right? Just do your own thing.
Now, what's yours, Sam? Got one?
I'll briefly say a couple of mine. One is I feel for the amount of money that we pay, considering that Power League is one of the more expensive ones. The quality of the pitch sometimes is a bit questionable. Recently, it's been laid down fresh and new, but for a long time, remember there was that big peeling off part in the middle line and stuff. I'm like, for the amount of money and what's going into it, and for what the facilities you've got here, there's better facilities for cheaper. So maybe you can up your game a little bit on that one. And also, it doesn't happen often, but on the rare occasion when it snows and snows heavily, they don't clear the pitch.
Yeah.
And
They just like sweep it into the corners, don't they?
I mean, no, but sometimes they don't even do that. There's been times where we've had to show up on a, I think it was when it was still on Sundays, and me and Khalil and other people, we had to like put our feet out like this and walk like penguins and shovel the snow ourselves. And it's like, we're paying you so that we can do this on our pitch time. But again, luckily it's not that much of a frequent occurrence. Have you got another one?
Well, no, that was my main bugbear. I think there'd be plenty that I could go on about. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't call out the South Oxley team selections. That's one thing I've got
Leave
to
it out, mate. You're getting boring, son. Sam, his time's up, mate. He's done. Let's leave it.
I just misplayed. I don't think I've ever on the same team as like Ross, Rish, you. I hate it, and I can tell you, I categorically know I've never been on the same team as Alex, who has played for 3 months straight at least. Never played in the same team as him. Never once. I
just wanna say something to clear this up, because Ryan agreed with me, who's also pulled me on this before. And Sam will know because Sam's in the other group.
Yeah, the hierarchy group that we got privy to, right?
Yeah, so here's the crack, and Sam will back me up. The days I get in the fucking ear and the neck about this team's this and this team's that, I'm telling you now, Sam, how many times? 9 times out of 10, it's fucking Shappy that's done the teams anyway. And he picks the same teams anyways.
And this is the worst thing.
Azza, Rossi and Rishi's together again. Listen, he don't want to play with us either. That's why the team's always the fucking same.
Oh, he lives on his reputation. He lives on that reputation, most replayed games with his team selections. But he forgets to mention the shit games where it's also his selection.
Yeah.
He mentions the hits.
Yeah, exactly. He's had more hits on them, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's very clear and obvious to see why me and Imzi gave up team making and just delegated. And I've enjoyed my football and my Wednesdays so much more. I'm going by the Hardic mentality now, right? Which means you turn up, you play, you go home. That's it. And it's so much more an enjoyable game that way. Exactly. Hear no evil, see no evil, all that shit. But Jake...
I'll tell you what, wait. I've just remembered something. Before we let him go.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I thought about this before we got him back on. So Jake done his ultimate sevens and said he'd put that against anyone. So I've done myself a team to play his. So this was what my team would be to play Jakey's team. If anybody's got the fucking balls to have this game, we'll get it on, mate. So I'd have Crookie in goal. I'd have myself, Shanks and Shan, and I'd have Addy, Rossi and Rishi. Obviously, I'd obviously have to pick people that he's got. Not, you know what I mean? I didn't choose no one that's in Jakey's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a great game.
I've chucked that in there before he goes as well. If Addy's not about, or possibly might bring in Alex, to be fair, because he's a good player. So
I fancy that as a game. That'd be a good old tussle.
It could be a game. I'm sure when you get the right numbers in, I'm sure one day that game will be able to materialize. Or if you guys can kind of maybe eliminate or kind of distract the people who are not in that list and get them not to play one week.
And before we let him go, just a reminder, because we're going to have to do this in 2 parts now. If I've not got a reply from Abs for my challenge as well, for when we're back, by the time this second one's out, then there's going to be trouble.
The challenge has been laid down. Jake, we're pretty much out of time. We've got less than a minute left on this one. Thank you so much. You have been a fantastic guest, and take care. And thank you so much as well for the job you're doing on the front lines there. We very much appreciate it, and much love to you and everyone else that's doing that as well.
No worries, boys. Thank you very much for having us. It's really good pod what you're doing, and I think that it's bringing the boys together. Everyone loves it, so keep doing what you do. It's fantastic. Keep up.
Bless, Jay.
Top man, mate. Catch you soon.
Take it easy. We'll be back after this.
I'm in the middle now. Real boss, take a low.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy B. Okay.
Lowest one. So from here,
Okay.
it's pure fire.
Okay, cool.
Drake just knew, innit? He's going to play that out of the way. And then...
In the rounds that we got,
okay.
he said,
Okay, so that's the song for you.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Right, moving on to the last bits. We're gonna just give you some reviews this week, like we have been doing. So I'll give my two first. So anybody who's not seen Money Heist, that is on Netflix. That is now there's 4 series now of Money Heist. I've only done the first 2, but the first 2 are very good. Yeah, it's one of them. It's not slow. It gets into it quite quick, and then it's quite tense. Yeah, it's quite an interesting one. That it's about a bank robbery and how they got to get themselves in and then get themselves out. It's a lot into it, and it's someone that's brought loads of individuals together. So it's not like a team of people that know each other to go in. So it's quite interesting. A lot of different dynamics on that one. So that's a good one. And then movie-wise, if anybody's not seen this one, again based on a true story, which I seem to be watching quite a bit of recently, is a Hotel Mumbai true story. Terrorist attacks there. Terrorist attacks in Mumbai, and it's different locations, but then the main ones within the hotel. It's just one of them, really interesting. You get gripped, and you know what? It's one where it's been done. It's quite raw, actually. It don't hold back, so you get the impact of what happened and that, which is it kind of gets you straight away, to be honest. So it's a good watch and a hard watch at the same time, knowing that it was real. So, but it's a really good movie for anybody who's not seen that one. Have you got anything?
That's Dev Patel in that one, isn't it?
Say that again.
Dev Patel in that one. Dev Patel is the main actor in that one. Yes, that's right. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's really good in it. Actually, really good. He's a good actor, to be fair. Good actor. Good to see a local boy. He's a Harrow boy, I believe. He's
I think in around these parts, weren't he? So it was very, very good movie. I enjoyed it. I kept getting mentioning to me over and over, and I didn't watch it for ages, and then I've not recently just watched it. So very good watch. So I haven't seen that. Definitely go and see that.
Hotel Mumbai and Money Heist.
Money Heist, yeah.
Money Heist. For me, it's a couple of documentaries. Again, these documentaries are getting so good to the point where they're getting as good as a drama, as fiction works, because of how powerful the content is and how well they're made. So the first one is everyone just doesn't stop talking about it. And I still need to get around to it myself, so I'm very eager to watch it. But it's the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, and that's on Netflix. And it's quite short. I don't think there's a lot of episodes. I think there's only 1 season, but apparently it's incredible, and everyone in the group is talking about it. And people are all over. So Netflix, Michael Jordan, one of, if not the greatest basketball player of time, The Last Dance. And the other one is, again, we've got a wrestling show today, so we're going to keep it wrestling. And it's the documentary of The Undertaker's life, The Last Ride. And that's on the WWE Network, I think. That's available. And again, a very, very raw, close look at the life of The Undertaker in a light that we've probably never seen before. And it will really put things into context, and how his career has gone, and how he went to just showing up around WrestleMania time. So it's apparently that's a real good one as well. So The Last Dance with Michael Jordan and The Last Ride with The Undertaker are definitely ones that I would recommend. So, and of course, don't forget Money Heist and Hotel Mumbai as well. But that's it for this week's show. It's been an absolute cracker. It's been jam-packed. It's been so good that we've had to do it over 2 days. And we're really excited to have Jake back on the show at some point, because As you can see, he's got a lot to say, and he's a good lad with it as well. So it's been absolutely fantastic. But we continue, we plod along. Azza, what's happening next week on Midweek Banter?
So next week, guys, we are going to go for. We've got again. We went surprise package with this one. We're going surprise package with the next one. We'll have the Midweek Banter League back again. We'll have the new FIFA Ultimate Card section back. We got the final call back. It'll be all happening, all the reviews, all the fun and games, and hopefully we'll have some good promo packages for the boys to see who they can guess who's coming on. But what we will have going forward after the last guest, me and you are effectively handpicked, we're then going to do a new concept where we'll put 3 names up, and then you, the people, can vote on who you would like to come and join me and Sam on the next podcast. And we will probably run that weekly to get it a bit more interactive and get more people involved. And then we'll also be doing, you can send your questions in to me and Sam to ask the guests, and me and Sam may use them all. We may pick a few at random. We'll see how we go with that, but we will take questions. So there's going to be a bit more interaction there between me and Sam and you, the people. So that's the tease for the following week. So if you're happy, Sam, I think we wrap this one up, shall we?
All good, fantastic.
So guys, we've been talking to Jake this week. This is Midweek Banter, and that's the bottom line, because Azza Sakor said so.
You're the next one, and I'm gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stand up, I'll let you live a little bit with the